Zigzag herringbone cloth is an absorbent, thick and scrubby textured cloth which is fun and relaxing to make. It uses a single stitch throughout the centre and then has a very simple edging and surface crochet embellishment. The stitch is a modification of regular crochet stitches, causing the stitches to tilt. And so when you turn the piece for each side to work the next row, the stitches tilt in different directions, and that's what creates the herringbone stitch effect. I've decided to enhance that with the surface crochet by crocheting along each of the stitches, and with the edging by crocheting along each of the row end stitches. It has a lot of flexibility and stretch and feels very soft, so it could be a nice cloth for somebody who finds crochet cloths sometimes a little bit too heavy to use. Let's see how it's made. To make the zigzag herringbone cloth, you'll want about 35 to 40 meters or yards of Aran or worsted weight cotton or dishcloth yarn for the main section, the square of the cloth, and you'll also want about 15 to 20 meters or yards of a contrast colour. I'm using the Yarnsmith's Cotton Aran, which is a really nice soft cotton yarn which is hard wearing and has a really good twist so that the yarn doesn't split, so it's really nice for making dishcloths. And I'm using a hook that's slightly smaller than the recommended size. The recommended size on the ball band is a 5mm or US 8 hook, and I'm using a 4.5mm hook. It doesn't have an equivalent in the US letter sizes, but is sometimes called a G+ or a 7. To start the zigzag herringbone cloth, I'm going to work 21 chains, keeping them nice and relaxed. Now I like to work into the back bump of the chain, but if you like to work into a different loop of the chain, that's absolutely fine too. The important thing is you're going to skip the first 3 chains and work into the 4th chain. Wrap the yarn, place the yarn through the loop of the foundation chain, and this is the important difference to most other crochet stitches. As you pull the yarn through the chain, it also needs to go through the wrap on the hook, then through 1 loop, and then through 2, and that creates the lean in the stitch. So yarn around the hook, through the chain, yarn through the chain and the wrap on the hook, once through the nearest loop on the hook, and then through 2 loops on the hook. Yarn round hook, pull through the chain and the wrap, 1 loop, 2 loops, and this way you can see you're creating a tilt in the stitch. Instead of the stitch going upright from the foundation chain, it's leaning over away from your hook hand. We'll continue that until the end of the row, and here's my row of tilted herringbone stitches. You can see they all start to the right because I'm right-handed and lean over to the left. Now we're going to turn the work around, and row 2 and all other rows of the cloth will be 3 turning chains, and then work into the next stitch. These ones here belong to this stitch here. So you'll work your herringbone stitch through the head of the stitch and the wrap, through 1 loop and through 2 loops, through the head of the stitch and the wrap, through 1 loop, through 2 loops. And you can see now, because we've turned the work round, our stitches are tilting in the other direction, even though we're working the same stitch. So let's keep going to the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, don't forget to work a stitch in your turning chain in the same way. Wrap, yarn through the turning chain and the wrap, through 1 loop and through 2 loops. And now let's have a look at our stitches. So we can see we're creating a point in this direction here and a V in this direction here. We've worked 2 rows so far and we'll need a total of 14, so we need to repeat row 2 another 12 times. We now have a total of 14 rows and we're ready to work the border. The border is going to be worked in a contrast colour. I'm going to be using this brown yarn here, and the idea of the border is to enhance the zigzag edge of the cloth. To do this, we're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the stitches on the end row and along the foundation chain, and then we'll also work a slip stitch in each of the turning chains. So each row had 3 turning chains at the start. When we're working along the herringbone stitches, at the end of each of the rows, we'll work 3 slip stitches in that too. To enhance the zigzag look further, when we get to each of those points, we can add a chain, and that will give our zigzag a much crisper look. That's optional though. If you don't want to add a chain at the points, you'll simply have a gentle wave instead of a sharp zigzag. The only 2 corners where we don't want to add a chain, because they're much softer corners, are at the start of this corner here, at the end of our first side, and at this corner here, at the end of our second side. On the 3rd and 4th corners, you can see that the points are much sharper, so we do want to add a chain to each of those corners. Let's make a start. To start the slip stitch border, I'm going to make a slip knot on my hook and then take the hook out and pull it through the first of the stitches here. So I'm starting in this corner exactly where I'd finished working the main square. I'm going to try and keep my tension nice and gentle. It's very easy to pull slip stitches too tight. I'm just working once in each of those stitches along the edge, making sure that I allow the yarn really to flow through over my finger and onto the hook. Do check as you're going along that your stitches haven't pulled the edge too tight. So this one here, you can see that corner is still pointing outwards. It's not being pulled in by the stitches, so that's fine. If you find it difficult to maintain your tension, try using a larger hook or reducing the tension on your finger. So when you've worked in the final stitch of the side, you're going to start working down the turning chain of the final row. So we're going to work into each of these chains here, and because this is one of the 2 gentle corners of the square, we're not going to work a chain here like we will in the other corners. So 1, 2, 3 chains, 3 slip stitches down the turning chain. Now this corner here is a little bit sharper, so we do want to work a chain here. And I'm going to turn the work to work down this end stitch of the second to last row. So here's one of the bars I want to work in, here's another, and then I'm going to try and work in this one here of the next stitch. One, 2, 3. Now again here we could work a chain to keep that corner nice and crisp. And now we're working in the 3 turning chains again. 1, 2, 3. Now let's work a chain to keep this corner sharp and then work in these 3 bars of the stitch. And another chain. Yeah, I think that zigzag there is really working well. So I'm going to continue doing that all down the side. 1 slip stitch in each chain, a chain at the corner, 1 slip stitch in each of these horizontal bars at the edge of the cloth, and a chain, and then again all the way along. So I've just worked in the last stitch on the end of the second side, and this is another shallow or soft corner, so I don't want to put a chain here. I'm simply going to rotate the work, and then I'm going to slip stitch in each of the foundation chains along this side. Now this corner here is a sharp corner, so before I start working down the first row end stitch, I'm going to work a chain. On the second side, it's a little bit harder to see which are the turning chains and which are the stitches because of them being worked from the reverse side. So if you need to turn over, and you'll see this is a turning chain here and this is a stitch. So again, you're going to want to work into them 3 times, and I can see the chains here, here, and just there. I'll have to turn it. And here I want to work into this stitch 3 times too. So I'm going to work into this part, and this part of the stitch. So 3 stitches in the turning chain, a chain, and then 3 slip stitches in the side of the row end stitch. And a chain. And then we're going to repeat that all the way down. 3 slip stitches in the turning chain, a chain, 3 slip stitches in the row end stitch, a chain for each of those V shapes all the way to the end. And having worked in that last corner, I notice that this corner is a sharp one, so we want an extra chain there, and we can slip stitch back in the first chain of that round, or we could work an invisible close off when we're seaming in. And if we want to, we can work surface crochet in the same way that we've worked the slip stitch edging for the side down some of the stitches in the cloth itself. With 19 stitches in the cloth, we could also work on stitch 7 and stitch 13 so that you'd have 2 zigzags evenly spaced down the cloth. I've made a slip knot in the yarn, and I'm going to draw the yarn through stitch number 7 from this end with the hook. Here we go. And so remember, I'll be doing exactly the same thing as I did for the slip stitch edging, except that I'm going to have to work through the stitches each time. Now I haven't started right in the head of the stitch because this is already covered by the edging. So I probably only need to work 2 slip stitches or surface crochets through this stitch before I work the chain. So the stitch is running in this direction. We can see it enter the next stitch here. So we'll place the hook through, wrap the yarn round the hook from underneath, and pull the yarn through the fabric and the stitch, exactly like doing a slip stitch. So now we're going to go through the next part of the stitch here, wrap the yarn round again. Hopefully you'll get a feel for doing that in the back without having to turn each time. And then in this gap here where the stitch enters, we're going to pull up the yarn once more, and to work a chain here we need to pull the yarn through from the front of the fabric and then through the slip stitch, and that gives us our extra corner here. Now we're going to be working down the 7th stitch from the end. Check which this is. So the one with the stitching in on the edge is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's our 7th stitch. So we can see where we need to work in this stitch. So I'll put the hook through the stitch here, pull up the yarn, and here, and pull up the yarn, and finally work in the base of the stitch and pull up the yarn here. I want to work another chain here, so I'm going to push the yarn forward so I can see it through the gap and pull it through the fabric and the loop again, and that gives me that sharp corner again. Let's see how this is looking so far. Yeah, that's giving us a nice zigzag look, which is echoing what we have on the end here. If you're not able to press it into the right position, a position where you like the look of it, then you probably want to unpick a little bit and go back. It's a little bit of trial and error really. Maybe you need an extra stitch somewhere because it's pulling too tight. Maybe you need an extra chain somewhere, or perhaps you need to remove a chain or remove a stitch. I think I'm going to do one zigzag here and then another one a little bit further along on stitch 13 so that they're evenly spaced. Of course, we wouldn't usually block a dishcloth, but if you're giving crossed herringbone cloth as a gift, you may wish to sharpen up the zigzag surface crochet and the edging by blocking it and placing a pin in each of the points to really sharpen it up.